Hello and welcome to another episode of the TnN Show. Important announcement before we start today. We have changed our Twitter page, and the new link for the new Twitter page is going to be in the description down below. So please follow us on our new Twitter page. Today we're going to be talking about Pep Guardiola, Brian's favorite manager. Brian, of course, who's a lost soul because he supports Manchester United. It's not Manchester United anymore, Manchester United. So I'll ask him first about this. This is a simple question, and I think he's going to give us the wrong answer, of course. But the right answer is no, but he's going to give us the wrong answer. Was extending Pep Guardiola's contract the right decision for Manchester City to make?
Was it the right decision for Manchester City or was it the right decision for Pep? Which one?
I guess we could go for both.
For City, it was a good decision. For Pep, it was not.
Why do you say that?
I don't know, because if you followed Pep from long back, or basically when he was asked about why he left Bayern Munich, and then he was like, because after 3 seasons with the team, he said after 3 seasons with the team, he feels best he leaves the team because things become stale, players become too used to you. Basically, in simple terms, things become stale after 4 seasons with the team. That's why he always tends to win when he leaves, because he doesn't believe in staying too long in the team. So him extending his contract for City didn't make sense to me, considering that he's always lived by that. He could have easily stayed at Bayern and tried to win the Champions League, but he didn't. He came to Manchester City. And if you look at City doesn't care about the Premier League right now. They don't care if they lose the Premier League this season. It's not the priority for Sheikh and his board members. They have one priority, and that's the Champions League. So, I don't see him getting sacked. So I think it was a good decision in the sense that Pep is still a good coach. However, players tend to lose confidence if you are producing top-notch results and all of a sudden you're producing bay average results, you're losing your mid-table. Players lose confidence with you. We've seen comments from Zinchenko after the Lyon game. He made comments of how Pep tends to deviate from his tactics in the UCL. You see, things like that. That talk starts in the dressing room. And once that happens, it's a problem. So I don't know how it will pan out, but it's not a good decision for Pep. He should have left.
I get you. You defend him once again when he's doing a shit job at the moment and still defending him.
No, I can't say he's doing a shit job because basically, look, he doesn't have a natural striker. That's number one. He does not have a natural striker. Don't tell me about Gabriel. They don't tell me about Gabriel. He doesn't have One main mistake was Kompany, letting Kompany leave. Kompany was a very integral piece of Pep's team, undeniable. And getting a replacement for a guy like Kompany hasn't come easy for City. It's been a trial and error process, right? That can't be solely blamed on Pep. As a coach, and the stuff, the scouting stuff, we look for a defender to fill Kompany's role. If he fails, we look for another one. Hence why I think the repeatedly high amount spent on defense. It's a trial and error thing. He wants to restore it. And he's forced to play a bit more defensive than usual. As you've seen, City is no more attacking as fast as it used to. And if you watch the Tottenham game, Mourinho used that to his advantage. He blocked that whole middle. There are 2 options. Wings, only their wingers. And they couldn't get him. Simple. That was all bus puff.
I hear you. Let me get Nakai's opinion. I'll believe her opinion more because she supports a better team than Manchester United. Nakai, what do you think about Pep Guardiola extending his contract? Was it the right decision, or Manchester City were supposed to move on from Pep Guardiola after this season?
Well, I think one of the biggest rumors behind Pep extending his contract is the prospect of Messi coming to City, which I'm not too sure how whether it's going to pan out or not. But apparently, Messi's biggest influence behind wanting to come to City is Pep. So in the eyes of, everyone who's part of the board at Man City, I think the decision is, if we can try and get Pep to extend his contract, we increase our chances of Messi coming to the club, and hopefully that'll help to boost the club's performance as a whole in total. So that's just what I've been hearing as the obviously Pep isn't going to say I extended my contract because of Messi, but that is the biggest rumors, and according to sources close to him, that's sort of what's been going on behind the scenes. So I think from a tactical point of view, and also trying to get into the mind of people part of the board at Man City, I think that was sort of their reasoning behind Pep extending his contract at Man City. That's my view on it.
But do you think it was the right decision?
Looking at it overall, I don't think so. I think the players needed to see a fresh face. They need to hear a fresh voice, and maybe that will spark something within them and help to restore the sort of creativity and threat that we're used to seeing Man City bring every single game that they did before in past seasons before.
You see, Brian, the key word from Nakai there was threat. 2 years ago, when you knew you were playing Manchester City, I mean, you have to say you'd be scared. But they're not scary anymore. You're not scared to play versus Manchester City. I mean, if you play versus Manchester City, you know you're gonna get your chances to score 2 or 3 goals past them. And they're not even, what can I say? They're not even prolific in attack. They're not scoring goals. So if you get to score 3 goals or 2 goals versus Man City, these days you're almost guaranteed a win. They've lost their fear factor. And I think that's down to Pep Guardiola as well, because he had a key hand in selling players like Leroy Sané. That guy was, he was scary. I'll give you a chance to defend your coach here, Brian, but I have to say, I think it wasn't the right decision to give this guy a new contract.
Well, I hear you, but then Sané wasn't even part of Pep's domestic treble, if I'm correct. He wasn't an integral part of Pep's domestic treble, which in football is called hardest treble, for whatever reasons, which was won by Pep. Okay, look, here's the thing. Pep, the team City was 2 years ago, isn't the same team it is now. For a fact, it's different. How can you have a fear factor when you don't have one of the best number 9s in the world? He's injured. Aguero is injured. I don't see him consistently playing again. He's done. And he was an integral part of the goal-scoring aspect of City. Cool. Sterling wasn't even playing against Tottenham. I can't even use Tottenham as a reference game, guys, because it's Mourinho playing against Pep. He used the right tactics. Yes, according to Pep's history, it's the worst start he's ever had as a manager in his career. City is not scoring any goals, but I'd still like to believe that the cause of that is because they don't have a natural striker, 1. And 2, I believe that there's loss of confidence in Pep by players. That's what I would like to believe. I believe that there was a rumor at some point, but I do believe that is happening. Like, I don't think the players are as confident in his tactics anymore. So executing for him to execute the previous City is going to be different. He has to alter his tactics, and and if you looked at it, City is not attacking as fast as it used to. I don't know if you noticed
that. I get everything you're saying, but I'll come to Nakai once again for looking at what you say, because you said Aguero, maybe his injury problems, is not going to play consistently again. I mean, if this guy was as good a manager as people say he is, he was like a Fergie type of manager, why didn't he scout a striker to come to City so that they can have a striker who's going to play consistently when Aguero is injured. Or if he was as good sorry. If the players have lost confidence in him, then as a club, why do you keep a guy, where there's talk around the players, where the players aren't really believing in this guy anymore?
Because you can't listen to players. If you listen to players, you're not going anywhere as a club. If the players don't feel confident in the coach, you feel free to go. You can't be basing every move as a board based on players, because they'll toy around with you. They are also human beings. They also have feelings. Note that negative comments usually come from people who don't get game time from Pep. The only thing I can criticize Pep for, and which I don't understand, is Phil Foden not starting. It doesn't make sense to me at this point. Why Phil Foden? He's proven himself over and over again. I don't get why he's not starting. I feel like Phil Foden in that midfield would be a way. I think he would actually create more threat and better passages of play for his team to actually score more goals. So, in terms of the board keeping Pep, I understand why they would do that. And how do you, as a manager, solve this problem? Last season, you had problems defensively, right? Your team was scoring goals. I reinforced my defense. Then that season, unfortunately, my striker is injured. I don't have firepower. My defense is a bit better than it used to be, but then my strike force is weak. So next transfer window will come. They're gonna give him money. He's gonna get a striker. If City had a player like Joao Felix, do you think they would be in this position?
Maybe they wouldn't be in that position, but what I'm trying to say is the fact that they don't have him, they didn't scout him early enough, or they didn't buy him early enough, that should show that maybe there's some weaknesses when it comes to Pep's management. He's not thinking about the future. He was just thinking about those 3 years where he won 2 titles and maybe tried for a Champions League, then he went out. And I think he's done at Manchester City. I don't know. I would like to ask Nakai who she thinks should be the next Manchester City manager, because honestly, I don't see a future with Pep Guardiola.
I just wanted to quickly add to the thing about, he's missing players and he's missing his key players. I think that's like the easy way out as an excuse to try and make up for why you didn't perform well, because we can see that, look at Liverpool, their game against Leicester. They didn't have their key defenders at all, but Leicester couldn't even score 1 goal, and they kept a clean sheet. So I think that's sort of that excuse of, they're missing their key players and all of that. It's looking for the easy way out instead of actually addressing the main issue at the club. If there's a main issue, it needs to be addressed, not to use your key players as an excuse for you not playing well, because it's impossible for you to rely. Yes, you have your top players, but it's impossible for you to rely on them. And as like you were saying, if you have to plan these things in the future and in advance, because if you see, okay, we have our top guys, what happens when I can't play them when they get injured? That's when you now have to scout and look for the people who you think can best fill in those gaps in the times that you need them. So I think that's just a key issue really. As for the next manager, I'm not too sure. I think it has to be a manager from outside. Like, I feel like they need a low-key but deadly manager. That's what they need, I think, in my opinion.
Look, in terms of Liverpool, one, people can say Liverpool is missing its key players, but from day number 1, I've been mentioning that Van Dijk is a problem. Liverpool without Van Dijk is tight at the back, love it or not. Van Dijk had a good season. That's all. He had 1 good season. Van Dijk is a problem. He has had how many goals leading into error this season? Him not being there, for me, is not really a major factor. However, I can agree. Maybe if you tell me Salah and the rest, that I can agree. Salah, Trent is also having a terrible season. But then, okay, let me not get into Liverpool because Sinasha will start getting biased again. But I get what you mean. Like, You should be able to play without key players like what Liverpool did. Kudos to them. But then what you should understand, guys, is that every manager is different. It's, for example, why you can't ever compare Fergie with any other manager, probably besides Bielsa, is because Fergie could use whatever resources he has at hand, and then he could also scout for resources that aren't as extravagant and then turn them into extravagant resources. It's the same way people criticize Pep. He only goes for teams that are well built. He only goes for finished players. That's his style as a coach. If I, as a coach, can only work with A-grade players, it's my style. And if teams that can afford it are hiring me, it's okay. So I feel like, yes, it does sound like an easy way out. But however, for a manager like Pep, who's used to having A-class players, it is an integral part for him to have each and every player of his. Pep is not a player who uses average players to win games. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'll correct you by saying he's not as good a manager. Okay, we have to move on from this topic. I think I've given you plenty of chance to defend your favorite manager. I'll ask Nakai this question before I come to you, Brian. I'll ask Nakai, do you think Manchester City can still win the title?
I don't think it's likely. I do not think it's likely that Man City are going to win the title at all. And that's my position, and I'm sticking by it.
And Brian?
They can win the title. I'm giving them a top 2 spot in the league.
I actually think they won't win the title. I will give Manchester United a better chance than Manchester City to win the title this season.
Well, United is still in the building phase, so I'm not even looking towards winning a title at all. I'm looking at my coach. I'm backing my coach 100%. He's still building a team, and I like that. Criticize Ole all you want, guys. Even some Manchester United fans can criticize him. I'm sure you've seen me take a lot of stick for defending Ole, but for me, I think we're still building something. For the league, I don't think that talk should even be talk at Old Trafford about winning the league. No.
Exactly. You see how bad Manchester United are this year. You're not winning the league this year, but I still think you've got a better chance than Manchester City this year. Let's leave it at that.
No way. No way. Guys, look. Okay. What people forget is we haven't reached game 10 yet, right? We've had seasons. Arsenal has led the table till January. Do you remember? I think January. Leicester has done the same. I think till December, end of December. Liverpool's strongest team, in my opinion, is between 2013-14 and 17-18. 17-18 is my choice. I don't know if you agree. But City came from 9 points. And listen to this. They drew with Liverpool, right? The first game, right? They drew with Liverpool. And as a coach, you know that it's important to draw or win against your major challenger, correct? That's how Conte lost the league. He failed to do that. If City manage another draw or win against Liverpool, they have a very good chance of getting the league. I'm still going. It's too early to judge, guys. Tottenham, it's not like Mourinho. It's not like Tottenham is a weak team. Forget that mentality. This is a different Tottenham you're looking at.
Don't worry.
Way different Tottenham.
We'll revisit this topic when Chelsea beats Manchester City 3-0 at the Etihad Stadium sometime in the coming future. Then you'll talk about your Pep Guardiola and all his bull crap and everything.
Thank you for watching TK Sports. For more awesome content from this channel, please subscribe. And also engage with us on our social media platforms down in the description below.